him. He did not mistreat him. He did not do as Christians do when we start getting upset with folk, act like we don't see them in church and walk by them and mistreat them, but rather he loved on Judas. And I want to suggest that that is the reality of the Christian experience and mantra, is that all of us have the responsibility to still exhibit love. I know they talking about you. I know they mistreated you. I know they lied on you. I know you can't stand what they did, but you still got to love them. I know they're racist. I know they mistreat you. I know they talked about behind your back, but you still got to love them. And so Jesus demonstrates that love displays itself through serving. Because watch what Jesus does. He washes the feet of his betrayers. And let me just stick a pin there and say parenthetically, believers of God, that I thank God that he didn't send me down over 2,000 generations ago. Because if it had been me, Judas would have went there without water on his feet. Because if it had been me, Judas would not have been touched. If it had been me, I would not have done anything with Judas. Matter of fact, I would have scalded the water and threw it on Judas, because here's the reality. The human tendency is that when somebody does something to you, the human tendency is to respond in like fashion. And Jesus shows us that real, authentic love got to win even when we don't feel like it. And I see somebody looking at me online, and you've already tuned me out because you've already wrote the email. You've already put on your tennis shoes and your jumper on because you're ready to go fight. And the Lord sent me by to simply say to you that love gotta win. That even when you don't feel like it, love gotta win. That even when you don't like it, love gotta win. That even when they mistreat you, love gotta win. And Jesus helps us to understand what real love ought to look like. Because an act of love is simply loving on folk who seem to be unlovable. And I want to suggest the idea here is that we don't deserve to serve others based on their deservedness. And if it's not a word, I baptize it and send it forth. Their deservedness. And the reality is that many of us are trying to determine, do they deserve how I treat them? And let me just flip it for you and suggest, do you deserve what God does for you? When was the last time you told God that I wasn't going to do it again, and you did it again? When was the last time you told God I wasn't going to talk about them no more, and you was talking about them? When was the last time you was backbiting and talking behind the hand and God forgave you? How dare we try to determine somebody else's deservedness?